What to do if your first date goes bad. First dates can be nerve-wracking experiences. Whether you're meeting someone for the first time after chatting online or going out with a person you've recently met in person, expectations can run high. However, not every first date will be a fairy tale. Sometimes, despite your best efforts, things just don't go as planned. Perhaps the chemistry isn't there, the conversation falls flat, or unexpected circumstances arise. Whatever the reason, when a first date goes bad, it can be an awkward and disappointing situation. But all is not lost. Here are some practical steps on what to do if your first date goes bad. 1. Stay calm and composed. When you feel that a date isn't going well, your initial instinct might be to panic or overthink the situation. However, it's important to stay calm and composed. Just because things aren't going perfectly doesn't mean the entire experience is a disaster. It's natural for first dates to have awkward moments. Take a deep breath, and don't let your nerves get the best of you. Often, the situation might not be as bad as it seems. If the conversation is dragging, try to steer it in a different direction by asking open-ended questions or talking about neutral topics such as hobbies or current events. Keeping a positive mindset can make you feel more relaxed, and sometimes that can turn things around. 2. Keep things lighthearted. When a date is going poorly, it's easy to become tense and serious, but trying to keep the mood lighthearted can ease the situation. If things are getting uncomfortable or if you feel awkward silences creeping in, don't be afraid to acknowledge it in a humorous or gentle way. Sometimes, just laughing about the situation can diffuse tension. For example, you can say, "First dates can be so strange sometimes, can't they?" This might get your date to open up about their feelings, and you both might find some common ground over the shared awkwardness. It's also helpful to avoid heavy or controversial topics, such as politics or religion, which can add more stress to an already difficult date. Stick to fun, easy topics like favorite movies, places you've traveled, or future goals. Keeping things light can sometimes rescue an evening that seems to be going downhill. 3. Assess the situation. If your first date is really going badly, take a moment to assess why. Is it because you and your date have nothing in common? Are they rude or uninterested, or are external factors like the location or timing affecting the date? Understanding the root cause can help you decide on the best course of action. If it's simply a case of not having much in common, it's okay to accept that not every connection will be a perfect match. No one is at fault, sometimes two people just don't click. However, if your date is rude or disrespectful, it's important to prioritize your own comfort and safety. If you feel uneasy or disrespected, don't feel obligated to continue the date just to be polite. 4. Be honest but kind. If the date is undeniably bad and you're certain there's no chance of salvaging it, honesty is often the best policy. However, it's important to be kind and tactful when expressing your feelings. There's no need to point out all the things that went wrong during the date, but you can gently communicate that you don't see things moving forward. For example, you could say something like, "I've enjoyed getting to know you, but I'm not sure we're a match romantically." This shows respect for the other person while being clear about your intentions. If both of you are on the same page, this can bring a sense of closure and prevent any misunderstandings about future expectations. 5. End the date politely. If the date is really not going well and you've decided there's no point in continuing it, you might want to end the evening early. However, it's important to do so politely and with respect. You don't need to make up elaborate excuses or fake an emergency to leave. Simply explain that you think it's best to cut the evening short. You can say something like, "I think it's best if we call it a night. It was nice meeting you, but I don't think we're the right fit." By doing this, you're being upfront without being hurtful. Keep the tone polite and neutral, and avoid dragging out the goodbye unnecessarily. 6. Learn from the experience. Every date, even the bad ones, offers an opportunity to learn something about yourself and the kind of connection you're seeking. After the date, reflect on what went wrong and why. Was it a lack of chemistry, poor communication, or unrealistic expectations. Understanding these factors can help you better prepare for future dates. It's also important to remember that not all bad dates are your fault. Sometimes, it's simply a mismatch between personalities. Recognizing that everyone has their own preferences and that it's not a reflection of your worth can help you move on without carrying any negative feelings. 7. Keep your expectations realistic. One reason why first dates sometimes go wrong is because we enter them with high or unrealistic expectations. While it's great to be hopeful, it's also important to remember that not every first date will lead to a long-term relationship or even a second date. Keeping your expectations realistic can help alleviate disappointment if things don't work out. View first dates as an opportunity to meet someone new and see where things go, rather than expecting them to meet all your criteria right away. By managing your expectations, you can approach the date with an open mind and avoid putting too much pressure on the experience. 8. Take it in stride. Finally, when a first date goes bad, the best thing you can do is take it in stride. Dating is a process, and it's normal to have both good and bad experiences along the way. One bad date doesn't define your romantic future. Instead of dwelling on the negative aspects of the evening, focus on the fact that you put yourself out there and tried something new. Dating is a journey, and each experience, whether good or bad, brings you one step closer to finding the right person. Embrace the process, learn from it, and don't be afraid to keep trying. Conclusion. A bad first date can be disappointing, but it's not the end of the world. By staying calm, assessing the situation, and handling it with honesty and kindness, you can navigate the experience gracefully. Remember to keep your expectations realistic, learn from the experience, and move forward with a positive mindset. Dating is a journey, and every step, even the missteps, is part of the process.